Can you edit that to make it look better? Hey guys, Lawrence here at the Peak Design headquarters in the Dogpatch neighborhood of San Francisco. And today we're going to be talking about the travel tripod. Quick disclaimer, these are still pre-production models, so they're about 98% accurate. There'll be a few little details that might get tweaked between now and when you get your tripod. I made up the number 98%. But functionally and feature-wise, they are baked. Another disclaimer, there is a ton of construction happening in this neighborhood, and you will likely hear trucks going by on this video. So if I see a single comment about that, I swear to God. So if you've been following the Kickstarter at all, you probably know the basic sales pitch for the travel tripod. We wanted to take all the functionality and dependability of a professional travel tripod and maximize spatial efficiency in a way that hasn't been done before. The result is a tripod that is stable and dependable while effectively taking up half the volume of a traditional travel tripod. It's got a streamlined user interface and a handful of features that you are going to love. You are going to love it. The travel tripod is available in aluminum alloy and carbon fiber. What's the difference between the two? Weight. The aluminum alloy tripod comes in at 1.56 kilograms, which is about 3.44 pounds. The carbon fiber is 1.27 kilograms, or 2.81 pounds. And for anyone who's ever been out in the field and taken a lot of gear with you, you know that every little bit counts. So the parts that are different between the two materials are all of the leg sections and the center column. The compact ball head, cam levers, hub, all the other parts besides the legs and the center column are shared between the two models. We've gotten a lot of good questions about whether there are any performance differences between the two. The short answer is no, there aren't. The longer answer is that our tests so far haven't really shown there to be much, but we're still doing more tests. Right now, the big gain when you go to carbon is that you save all that weight. What's in the box? So, you get your travel tripod. What comes in the box? A travel tripod, a padded soft carrying case, a Peak Design standard plate, and a hex wrench tool for maintenance and attaching the plate. Just to keep you guys in the loop, we are looking into some updated hex wrench designs, so it might be different when you open your box. All right, let's take a closer look at the tripod. So at the very bottom, we've got our rubberized non-slip feet. Shore A60 thermoplastic polyurethane. Now, something we found early in development was that the feet of a tripod actually do a lot of the work when it comes to damping or dissipating vibration. So we did a bunch of material testing and are thrilled with the direction we chose. Above the feet, we've got the low-profile cam levers. We opted for cam levers over twist locks for a handful of reasons. One, you can't do a twist lock on an irregular, non-circular shaped leg. So that took it out of the equation very early. Some additional benefits are that they're quicker to open and lock, and at a glance, you can see if they're in the open or locked position. So above the cam levers, we've got the 5 sections of each leg nested within each other. Of course, on the carbon fiber version, those sections are made of carbon fiber, multi-layered 3K twill weave carbon fiber. And on the aluminum version, they're made of aluminum. 6061 T6 anodized aluminum alloy. So above the legs, we've got the whole hub section, which has a handful of important components. Let's open it up, take a closer look. We've got leg angle adjusters on each of the 3 legs, which let you get the tripod into low mode. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And we've got the deployable center column adjustment knob right here. It's got a satisfying little magnetic click when you stow it away. And the reason that it goes in and out is so that when you are not using the tripod, it keeps a low profile. And when you are ready to adjust the center column, you get more purchase or surface area to get a good grip. And above the hub is the compact ball head. So the compact ball head is designed to nest perfectly into the rest of the tripod, and it offers a really intuitive experience when you're using it. So the main way you're going to interact with the ball head is through this machined aluminum adjustment ring. It's super easy to use. Just turn to loosen, find your shot, and then turn it back to tighten. So we opted for this one ring adjustment because on traditional ball heads, we found that having all of those knobs was confusing and it would just get in the way of finding a shot. It also helps to maintain that low profile design and spatial efficiency that we were going after. So right above the adjustment ring is the locking ring. And the locking ring keeps the quick release button from being able to be used, so your camera stays locked into the tripod. It also eats up some of the play and vibration because of how it's designed. And I'll show you more about that when we put the plate on a camera and put the camera on the tripod in a little bit. So like I just mentioned, we've got the quick release button right here. And when the locking ring is disengaged, you can go in and out. We've also got, on the top face, 2 pins that keep your plate and camera from sliding to the left or the right. And we have our bubble level. So the entire compact ball head, and actually this first section of the center column, are removable. And in its place, the separately available universal head adapter would let you use any tripod head with these legs. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, and I'll show how it works. So below that is the center column, made out of respectively carbon fiber or aluminum alloy, depending on which model tripod you've got. And under there is the counterweight hook. And the hook is there to support a bag or some weights, and it adds a little extra stability, especially helpful in high winds. The pass-through on the hook, you can see the little hole there, is to attach one of our anchors to, so that you can carry the tripod on a strap, but we'll show you more about that in a little bit. So something else that's really cool about our hook is that it comes out of the center column, and stowed in here is a universal phone mount. So let me show you that one more time slower. Grab the shroud, pull it, rotate the whole hook, and then it comes right out. And there's a magnet on a spring that's keeping the mobile mount from falling out, but allows it to nest back up when you put the hook back in. So the mobile mount comes out, you put a phone in it, and then put it on the tripod head. We'll show you how that works when we do the full demo. To reinstall the hook, you actually grab it down here, stick it in, and then twist it back into locked position. All right, so let's put the standard plate onto the bottom of my camera. So those of you familiar with Peak Design are probably already familiar with the standard plate also. We spent a lot of time developing this. It's on its 3rd iteration. We've worked really hard to make it as low profile as possible so that your camera doesn't have a lot of unnecessary bulk on the bottom. And we use a hex wrench for attachment because the amount of torque that you can apply when installing the plate is way more than if you had a little D-ring or a coin slot. The reason for that is because with our straps and clips, the plate is a load-bearing part of that system, and you've got the entire camera on your backpack strap or your belt or on the camera strap. So with your camera on the line, we would never want to have a weaker connection between the plate and the body. Now, because we're so confident with the plate and that attachment, and we want this plate to be a thing you can seamlessly move between the tripod and your capture clip and a Peak Design strap, we're sticking with the standard plate. We love it, we know it, and we trust it, and that's what your tripod ships with. Something else to keep in mind is that because we're using Arca Swiss geometry on the ball head, you could use a third-party Arca Swiss plate, or an L bracket, which we'll show in a little bit. All right, plate's on, let's move the table and get the tripod out. All right, I'm going to deploy it at normal speed first, and then we'll go back through and I'll show you each step. So those cam levers make it super fast to deploy, and I can look down quickly and know when the legs are locked. Another cool thing is because our legs aren't inverted like a traditional travel tripod, all they have to do is come out from their resting position, and it's just that much faster to deploy. All right, let's do that one more time, but a little bit slower. So step 1 is to undo the cam levers, and it's pretty easy to get your fingers in and undo 4 at a time. So you undo 4, rotate, undo another 4 and rotate, and then you get the last 4. Then what I like to do is to pull the feet a little bit out and then put my hand on the top of the feet and extend the legs all the way. I then go straight up and down and take my hands down the length of the tripod, one at a time, closing 3 cams at once. Then you set it down. Pete has been calling that technique Larry's ladder. All right, so now I like to put my camera in before I use the center column. That's just personal preference. So my locking ring is in the unlocked position, and I'm gonna tow the camera in the front of the plate and then push straight down. So for total security, I slide over the locking ring until it can't go any further, and now the quick release can't be opened. Putting the locking ring in the locked position prevents accidental camera release, and it eats up extra play so that you get a secure connection from the camera to the plate to the tripod. All right, now I'm gonna raise the center column up. I just deploy the knob, loosen it, use my other hand to lift up the camera, and then when I have the height I want, I tighten it back down. If I want to, I can put the button back in, but I'll leave it out just in case I need to adjust my shot. So our travel tripod can deploy to a maximum height of about 150 centimeters or 60 inches with the center column all the way up. Of course, you could have it all the way down in the slammed position, but you won't get all the ball head articulation. So generally, I like to shoot with it somewhere right about here. All right, so now you get down and frame your shot. Right hand on the grip, left hand on the ring, loosen, find it, tighten, and shoot. It's super easy. And if you want to get into portrait mode, that's easy to do. The cutouts are designed so that when you go into portrait mode, your grip will be up and it'll make the shutter easier to find. And for even more versatility, you can take the camera off, orient it a different direction, and go back into portrait mode. The standard plate's 4-way entry into the compact ball head makes this possible. The design of the ball head also means that you can point the camera straight down. A downward-facing orientation is also possible by inverting the neck, and we'll show that in a second. But first, let's take a look at that mobile mount. So again, twist and release your counterweight hook, and then get the mount out. I like to put the hook back in so that I don't lose it. So we designed this mobile mount to fit specifically inside the center column. It's got 2 feet that open up, and one of those is arc Swiss geometry to fit into the tripod head. It's universal, so cell phones of all sizes fit right into it. I'm going to put my iPhone in here and then click it in. Pretty easy. Again, I use the locking ring just for added security. Smartphones these days take pretty unbelievable pictures, and they've got such built-in capabilities for time lapses and other shots like that. It would be foolish not to accommodate them with a tripod. Plus, you essentially have the most sophisticated selfie stick of all time. All right, so to reinstall that mobile mount, I take out the hook, put the mount in. There's a magnet on the end, so it doesn't fall out. There's also a magnet on the end of the hook that helps me to both keep the hook from getting lost and to help find the right orientation to get it locked in quickly. So here's a little bigger camera. This is a D500 with the Nikon 200 to 500 lens on it. Pretty sizable setup. Tow the rig in, secure the locking ring, and you're good to go. So same as before, I can frame my shot, tighten up the ring, and release the shutter. So this travel tripod has a weight capacity of 20 pounds. So this Nikon D500 and 200 to 500 millimeter lens is 3.2 kilograms or just over 7 pounds. That gives you a little context for that 20-pound load limit. All right, I'm out shooting. It's a little windy. Take my bag, just put it right on the hook. This is the 30-liter everyday backpack, and it's not going anywhere. Another great feature of the travel tripod is you can invert the ball head. To do that, take out the hook, fully loosen the center column knob, remove the center column, and reinstall. Again, I put the hook back on, that way I just don't misplace it. So now I can install my camera, lock it, and find my shot. If I lowered the legs, this actually is a great way to get the camera right off the ground, which is really cool for unique points of view or macro photography. It also works awesome for shooting straight down. Another great way to get unique points of view is to put the tripod into low mode, which we'll show off back on the table. All right, so you're gonna need to have your hex wrench tool. And first thing you're gonna wanna do is raise the center column by a little bit. Somewhere in that range should do it. All right, and next thing is to loosen the ball head and then put it on its side. We can see through the top of the ball that there is a screw connecting the center column with the ball head. So I'm gonna take our hex wrench, and it takes, I find, about 6 rotations to loosen. I don't know if that was 6. All right, so after about 6 or 7 rotations, you can just pull the ball head off, and the head will come off from the center column. The screw is actually retained within this section, and so you don't have to worry about it falling out. All right, so now I'm going to take out the center column. And reinsert the head. All right, so I've got the head back on the hub, and now what I'm going to do is use the leg angle adjusters on each of the 3 legs and set them into the low mode position. All right, low mode. Put a camera in. Yeah, it offers a really incredible point of view, and it is super low to the ground, lower than any of the competitors we've seen. So the travel tripod is designed to work seamlessly with the entire Peak Design ecosystem. If I've got a capture clip on, I can insert my camera, quickly take it off, and pop it into the tripod. This is great if you want to be quickly moving around to find a new shot, or with some of those low mode or inverted mode options we were showing earlier, it gives you a place to rest the camera while you adjust the tripod. But say for a minute you're more of a strap person. This is the Peak Design leash. If you're attaching one of our straps to the standard plate using an anchor, you have nothing to worry about. You still can easily get it attached to your tripod. There's plenty of clearance in here for an anchor to be attached to any of the 4 corners of your standard plate. I can take this same leash and set it aside for a second. Take that camera off. I'm going to take 2 other anchors I've got just sitting here conveniently, and I'm going to install them onto my tripod. There's an anchor attachment point built right into the hub. And another anchor attachment point built right into the hook. Now, something you're going to want to keep in mind is that the hook and the anchor attachment point on the hub need to be aligned with each other, because that hook has 3-way entry. So just rotate it until you get them lined up. So I like to collapse the tripod by putting the legs together, opening the cams, collapsing the legs, and then closing the cams back up. Make sure that your anchors are out of the way when you close everything down. Now to install your strap, open these 2 legs so you have some clearance. And I attach the anchors to the anchor housings on my strap. Close these legs back. And I've got strap carry. What am I doing? And now I have strap carry. This works especially well when I've got my camera on the capture clip. I'll also show you how to attach the universal head adapter, which is sold separately. It's got a standard 3/8 male screw, and it allows you to use any compatible third-party tripod head. It's also got 3 pins located around the top face, and this allows you to tighten and really grab onto that third-party tripod head and keep it securely connected. All right, and those pins can be lowered and raised by accessing them down here on the bottom of the adapter. Just use the included hex key to get those things up and down. You can use the head adapter with or without the center column. The only difference would be just added height. So if you're using the adapter without the center column, simply take out your head and slam the adapter all the way into the hub. I say slam it down because there is no need for any clearance for articulation if you're just going to be putting a different tripod head right here on the top. A more likely scenario, though, is that you're going to be using the adapter with the center column. So line them up, push them together, take the included hex wrench, and find the screw and give it a good tightening. All right, that's pretty tight on there now. So before I put this whole thing back into the legs and hub, I got to lower my pins so that I can attach a third-party tripod head. So I'm going to use that included hex wrench and go in and get the bottom of these screws and bring them down. And so you don't have to watch me, we're just going to cut right to that being ready. All right, so the pins are recessed and I can install a third-party tripod head now. I've got this pan and tilt. Just going to screw them together. Get a real secure connection on there. And now I'm going to raise those pins a little bit and they're going to keep this head securely connected to the head adapter and center column. All right, let's install this whole thing into the hub and legs. First thing you do is take the hook out of your center column and then make sure your center column adjustment knob is in a loose position so you don't get any resistance, and plug the whole thing in. And tighten back up and reinstall your hook. Whew. I'm now set up to do a little pan and tilt. Something that's nice about using the head adapter with our legs is that you're still getting a lot of the space savings over what you might be getting with competition. Something that's also cool is that with the water bottle size diameter, you still can plug this thing into most backpack side pockets, even with a third-party head on it. All right, so let's say that you're done using low mode or you're done using the head adapter. Let's do a quick demo of how to reinstall the compact ball head. So we're just gonna be doing all the steps we've already done, but in a reverse order. I'm gonna uninstall the center column with head. Then I've got to remember to get into the bottom here and pull back those pins, the security pins. With the pins loose and the panning function on this head in its tightest position, I can go ahead and detach the head adapter from the head. There we go. All right, now to detach the head adapter from the center column, I take my included hex key, go in the middle of this screw to get into the connecting screw and detach it. All right. Now let's reinstall the Peak Design compact ball head. You remember you want to have the machined hole at the top of the ball exposed, so loosen the head and put it onto the side. Then align these two sections, stick them together, and give this screw about 6 or 7 good rotations, and you will feel it get tight. Now I reinsert this back into my hubs and legs, making sure the center column is open. Tighten that back up. reinsert my hook, and we're back. So what about an L bracket or a wide plate, you ask? Take your included hex wrench and unscrew the pins on the top of the head. So we've got these pins on the head to keep your standard plate from sliding left or right, but we've made them removable so that you can use an L bracket or a wider plate. Now, your Peak Design tripod is L bracket friendly. And this is a L bracket from our friends at Three-Legged Things. So in our testing so far, we have found that most L brackets and plates that are Arca Swiss are compatible with our ball head. So besides that head adapter, the other accessory available on the Kickstarter page are spiked feet. Now these are really in a pre-production mode. We're still trying to figure out the design that we like best. But I went over to the engineer's table and I took these without asking. Should I do a disclaimer about the cut on my fingers? I know what you're thinking. It's from doing mechanic work on a car. So these are unpainted prototypes. Like I said, we're still honing in on the design and look, but the installation and removal will be the same on the production model. So let's go ahead and show that off. You'll see that your 3 rubber feet are connected with a hex head screw. So again, your trusty included hex wrench, and just loosen these puppies up. There you go. Footless. And now, put your spike feet in. So tighten these as much as you can with that included hex wrench, and we will jump ahead to when I have completed that task. All right, so the spike feet give you a little more traction if you're on ice or gravel or dirt. Plus, they just look super intimidating if that's what you're into. And to reiterate one more time, these are pre-production. We're still honing in on the design. We'll keep you guys updated on the Kickstarter page, but they might not end up looking like this. This is the included soft case that comes with every single travel tripod. The Peak Design soft goods team has put this one together, and it is really cool. So it's got padding to protect against falls and scrapes and nicks. On the back, it's got 2 webbing loops that work with our cord hook system, and that's the new external carry on the travel bags. We've just found that to be a phenomenal system, so we're starting to put it on all sorts of soft goods. It's also got this nice handle on the back that you can either hold the whole thing by, or you can use external carry straps on your bags to lash it in and out and keep it from falling off. You'll also notice at the top, we've got this weatherproof zip. Open that, and there's your tripod. Inside is a little case in here where your hex tool stores. That's going to be a tag that shows a cool little icon for the hex tool. I have not released that. It's the only thing left to do for this product, and it is holding it up according to Art and Joey. I'm sorry. Now if I zip it back up, it's super easy to fold it in half, or even more than that. Really stuff it down and stick it into your bag. And then when you're ready to use it, it just pops back out into its natural form. What we found is that a lot of really nice tripods either don't come with a bag or come with a pretty cheap bag. Something called white label in our industry, where you just pick something off a shelf and put your logo on it. If you know us, you know we don't like doing stuff like that, so we designed this thing from the ground up. Let's show off that lashing technique. Now I'm just going to weave my external carry strap through the handle and attach it to the back of this travel backpack, but This works equally well on the everyday backpacks. Cinch down and stow away the tail. Now, your Peak Design travel tripod isn't going anywhere. An added bonus is that you can actually, with a little bit of finagling, get the tripod out without detaching this from the side. So let's say you've set up base camp or you've got settled into the room you're traveling to, and you want to take the tripod out with a minimal carry setup, but you still want to keep it in the bag. We've got you covered. So I'm going to detach it from this travel backpack. And now I've got a few options. For the first option, I'm just going to take this external carry strap. Again, this is the new design that works with our travel bags. And I'm just going to attach it right here to my tripod soft case. I've got a little carry strap. But let's say you want something a little more substantial. That's fair. Okay, I hear you. Can you edit that to make it look better? Using those same loops, I can take a couple of anchors and install these onto the webbing loops. Now, my soft case is compatible with any Peak Design strap. Oh, would you look at that? You can wear it over the shoulder or do a little crossbody. And I'm good to go. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed this slightly more in-depth look at the Peak Design travel tripod. Remember that this is a pre-production model that we've been showing off today, and some of those features are still getting honed, and we will keep you updated via the Kickstarter page. The Kickstarter page is also the place to be if you have additional questions or want to look closer at any of the features. Before you leave a comment on the comments board, take a look at the FAQ sections. There's a decent chance that your question has been answered there. If not, leave a comment, but be patient as Hicks and Stu and the rest of those guys take the time to make sure you get the right answer. If you've got questions about the complexity of this thing, which is far beyond any other product that we've made as a company, or some of the other design decisions we've made, or the cost, check out our recent blog post on the Peak Design field notes. There's a link for that on peakdesign.com. And take a closer read. As always, happy shooting, and talk later. I can't work like this, Vic.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. You are gonna love it. You comfy? Can I get you anything? I took a risk! You want those fingers?
Yeah, let me get back. Push into
You want them fingers? What's in the box? Is it distracting that it kind of jiggles? I'm a real brain fart right now. It's where the rubber meets the road when you're taking the pony for a walk. Oh, that is nice.